Here's the fastest way to hate your coaching business. Pick a market that you don't like. You see, if you don't find a market that doesn't align with your skills, your personality, and the vision of the life that you want to build for yourself, then you're going to build a business that's not sustainable. Guys, I've done it. I've done that myself. In this video, I really want to talk about how you can pick your dream client and start to research and build that identity profile of the person you ideally want to help. Now, it all starts with understanding one thing, is understanding this concept of 3 years ago. You see, for myself, 3 years ago, I didn't have some of the skills that I have now. And, I was in a place that was very painful. I didn't know how to market. I didn't understand marketing. I didn't understand any of these things. And so when I was first starting, it's like I was asking myself, okay, how do I actually help someone in the marketplace, right? What have I done that I could help somebody else with? And the first thing that I did was overcome a lot of my limiting beliefs and overcome a lot of my fear and my guilt and the shame that I felt in me, right? I felt like I wasn't good enough. I almost unalived myself because I was such in a dark place that I had to solve this problem. So that was the first problem I solved for myself. I looked at, how do I actually improve myself? How do I make myself better? How do I become a version of me that's more disciplined, that goes after things that he wants and lives a life that he wants to build? And that's how I got one of my first clients, because when I first started showing up, I first started talking about my woes and my struggles. I first started talking about how I overcame some of the limitations that were holding me back. And through that process, I was able to get my first client. And, I was able to help my client in that process. But at the end of the day, after working with these people, I realized that's not the type of business that I want to build. It was nice helping these people, but they didn't align with who I was becoming. They didn't align with the business that I wanted to build, with the dream and the vision of the person I wanted to be. And so I had to make a change. I decided to no longer help people in that aspect. I wanted something different. I wanted results. I want to help people who are hungry. I want to help people who want to win. Les Brown has this quote: there are winners, there are losers, and there are those who have not figured out how to win yet. And the people that I was working with, they wanted to win, but they haven't made the decision to decide to win. They saw themselves in their mind and identity as losers. I helped them overcome that, but just because I helped you do that doesn't mean the work is done. And so I needed to figure out I had to go back to the drawing board and figure out, okay, what is a business that would align with who I am as an individual? And that's where I really came in with the coaches. And this is why I started giving you guys content on coaching. It's not only just coaches. I'm also working on a side project of another target market, but I'll let you guys know as I go about with that. But I realized that when you're building your business, and your business is going to evolve, guys, your marketing is going to evolve because you're evolving. But when you're building a business, the first thing you must get clear on is, who do you want to serve? And the best way to go about doing that before you even do the research is find out who you were 3 years ago. Right? Who were you 3 years ago? What problems were you dealing 3 years ago? And start to really get a clear identity of the person that you want, who were, because you have solved a problem in your life for yourself. And if you haven't, guys, go back to the drawing board, go learn some skills, go solve a problem. But if you're a coach and you're here, you probably solved the problem. You had an issue, you geeked out on it, and you were like, I love this thing. It changed your life, and you wanted to share with the whole world, but you're finding it hard to find clientele. We're just sharing information to people. I get it. I was there, still figuring things out, things out. But we're gonna figure it out together. So once you actually kind of get an idea of who you were 3 years ago, and you ask yourself, if this is this the person I want to work with? Does this align with the vision and the person and the skill sets that I've accrued, that I've learned? That leads me to build your dream client. See, when you're building your dream client, the biggest thing that you need to do is get a clear picture of this person. That's why I started with 3 years ago, because you can have a clear picture of the version of you that needed you, right? When I'm speaking to you right now, I'm thinking about the version of me that needed me at the time. Had no marketing skills, had no sales skills, didn't know what a funnel was, didn't know how to do anything for marketing, sales, how to build an online coaching business, how to make money online, had no idea. So that's exactly where I started. It's like, okay, if that's the person I'm speaking to, what do I think they need? What do I think is going to be the most valuable thing for them in their business or in their life that's going to help them transform and become the version of themselves? You see, you have to get clear on the dream customer you're building. And when you're getting clear on the dream customer, you got to understand their core values. the biggest struggles that they're going through, the transformation that they're looking for, the person they want to become. And this is so key because we all have dreams and aspirations. We all have desires and hopes. And we always know that there's something better out there. It's in us. There's that drive for us to go after it and become the best versions of ourselves, whatever that may mean to you. See, in this process of you building that dream customer, getting the core values, understanding their struggles, learning what transform, learning the person that they want to become, you want to craft a picture in your mind, right? You want to create a customer avatar, right? The biggest thing is like, right, I talked about how do you go about researching and figuring out who your client is. But right now, guys, we haven't really done a lot of research. All we're doing is looking at you because the research is easy. When you know you really well, when you know how you used to think, when you know the things that you used to say, and you guys, this requires you to do some introspective work, right? If you want a client, if you have a problem that you solve for yourself, that means you can help someone else solve that problem. That means you're one chapter ahead of them. There's this movie called Catch Me If You Can, and where Leo plays this con artist who masqueraded himself as a sociology teacher. And when he got caught by the FBI, they asked him, "How did you teach sociology?" He said, "I just was one chapter ahead." All he did was literally just was one chapter ahead of his students, and then the students would just follow his lead. And guys, you may be 1-2 chapters ahead of your ideal client. And if you've been in this industry, like we talked about 3 years ago, right? You're probably many chapters ahead. And so you have something valuable to give to that person. And so when you are picturing this person, it gives you a clear identity in your mind. Right? Everything is created first in the mind, right? You have to see that person, that version of you, and you got to speak to them, speak to their language, understand the struggles, understand the pains. And when you can do that, then you can start selling them your services. So when you 3 years, you build your dream client profile, you have an idea who they are, you guys want to let this really simmer in your mind, right? You really want to embody this person. You want to have them top of mind every time you're creating your content, every time you're putting out information, every time you're giving out value, every time you're talking to someone, because that is what you're selling. And one of the beautiful things about this is if you guys to look about the reticular activating system, when you, for example, when you picture a red BMW or a Honda Civic or whatever car you want, and you picture in your mind, as you go about your day, your brain is going to start looking for all of those opportunities, that red BMW right there, right there, right there. It's going to start showing you everywhere. Now, those red BMWs were always there, right? That's just how your brain works. Your brain, whenever you put a focus on something, it looks for it. So when you put a focus on who you're serving for, like your dream client, your dream customer, your brain is going to be looking for those people. You just need to be aware of when the opportunity presents itself. But not only that, we're creating our marketplace. We're creating our business. And so when you're doing the research, you're clear on who you are, you'll start to attract people to you who are like your dream customer. And remember, guys, we're building a business that's sustainable. At the end of the day, if you don't want to work with these people, or these people are not the type of people that you want to work with, then reevaluate, pick a new market. And that's what we kind of go into the next part. And really is just researching your client or researching your niche, researching your market. So when you're researching, I think the biggest thing for you to do is really just understand who you really want to help, right? We talk about, in Extra Secrets, he talks about there's 3 main core markets, right? There's health, there's wealth, and there's relationships. Right, those are the 3 core desire markets that most people are looking to satisfy some type of need in. And those are the big markets, right? And you have these are the big markets. But in those big markets, there's smaller markets, right? That's where the sub niches kick in. Okay? And your job is to figure out what niche from one of these big core 3 that you want to serve. Now, if you're not looking at yourself as the version of you, you might have to do some market research. You might have to go and actually get an idea of who you want to serve and help. So, for example, I'm going to use the example that I just started doing some market research on myself, right? Is that the people that I want to help, there's this market, right? Right. Remember, guys, we're marketers first and foremost. We're marketers. There's a group of people that I want to help, and they're in the health market. Why did I choose the health? Because I like working out. I go to the gym 7 days a week. I know what it takes to go to the gym 7 days a week and build your dream body. I built my dream body. I went from 165 pounds to 185 pounds. I've also gone to 205 pounds. It's not hard once you actually have the blueprint. So, okay, I chose my core desire, which is health. Then I chose my niche, which is peak performers in the gym, right? These are the people who want to build their dream body. These are the people who want to work out and build their bodies, but at the same time, they may identify themselves as peak performers, but they haven't fully acknowledged, or they're building their way up towards being that peak performer, just like I was. Years ago, I didn't have my dream body, but I knew that I wanted to build a dream body. I knew that I wanted to work hard and become the best version of me in the gym, but I didn't actually know how to go about it or what to do. I learned some things along the way, and that I was able to solve that problem for myself. So now I'm building a brand, a market, and a core product around helping these people build their dream bodies. So what do I do? So one of the ways that you start researching is understanding that, and Russell Brunson talks about it in his book, I believe it is Like Your Secrets, where he talks about, you guys have to realize that your market isn't a person, it's a location. So, and it's basically understanding that, guys, there's nothing new under the sun, right? There's lots of coaches, there's lots of peak performers, there's lots of dentists, there's lots of chiropractors, right? There's lots of those businesses already out there, nothing new under the sun. So, and you gotta understand, they're solving the problems for their clientele already, whoever they may be, okay? And in that process of solving the problem already, that means there are locations where they're finding these people to come to them. Your job as a marketer, someone looking to get clients, is find out where these people are located and start putting the right message in front of them so that they come to you. Guys, we live in the internet age, so it's pretty easy nowadays. When you're doing market research, you can use Reddit, Quora. I don't know, I spelled it wrong, but Answer the Public, right? Like you start doing some research and trying to figure out where these people are, because people are doing Google research searches, right? There's people who are going into Reddit and having these conversations. There's Facebook groups that people are coming together and talking. If there isn't a Facebook group, it might be an opportunity there for you. But it's understanding that there's already people out there looking for the information. There is no new market. It's all about finding what you want to align with and doing the research and understanding that market. Now, what makes this easier is that you don't really have to do a lot of market research if you are, or you used to be, the target market. If you used to be the dream client. Because now you understand how they think. You just got to get into that marketing mindset and start taking some of those experiences and pulling them out and then putting them in front of their faces. You can go on Instagram. You can go on YouTube. Guys, the possibilities are endless. It's finding out what aligns with you. At the end of the day, you want to build a business that aligns with you and your character, your individuality. And now if you're a coach who's looking to make money online and needs a little bit of help and some guidance, click on the link below to schedule a free 15-minute strategy session call. But other than that, your job is to get in front of those people and and build a business that aligns with you. I like to create content on YouTube. Why? Because I consume a lot of YouTube. I actually like YouTube. I don't like to create content on IG as much because I don't use it that often. I'm starting to, right? It's something I'm looking into, but it's really figuring out what makes sense for you on where you want to build your business and finding a way to get in front of the right people and understanding your dream client so that you can provide an offer to them that they can't say no to. A grand slam offer. But without further ado, I think that's the end of this episode. You guys have a great and blessed and wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one.